We often think of shy as small, a whispered word, a downward glance, a child hiding behind a parent's leg at a gathering. In a world that praises boldness, shyness can feel like a trait we need to correct or outgrow. But what if shyness isn't a weakness at all? What if it's a different kind of wisdom? One rooted in observation, emotional depth, and quiet sensitivity. Shy children don't rush into rooms. They pause. They notice. They move carefully, not because they're afraid, but because they feel deeply and want to belong in a way that feels safe and true. At Seeds of Tomorrow, we believe these quiet souls deserve to be celebrated, not reshaped, because inside every hesitant glance is a child learning to trust the world and themselves. Let's walk slowly, kindly, into the heart of shyness and discover the quiet confidence waiting to grow. Whispers before words. A child stands near a group, fingers gently tucked into their sleeve, eyes curious but hesitant. They want to speak, but they don't. Not yet. We call this shyness. But what if that pause before their words isn't fear or fragility? What if it's wisdom? Shy children often move through the world with quiet discernment. They observe before engaging, listen before responding, feel deeply before revealing. This pause isn't emptiness, it's emotional preparation. Where others rush in, they look first. They make space for meaning, for trust, for truth. Shyness as an emotional intelligence trait. In child psychology, shyness isn't a flaw. It's a complex interplay of sensitivity, caution, and emotional depth. It can reflect heightened social awareness, a desire for authentic connection, a naturally gentle nervous system that values safety before stimulation, the ability to form rich, reflective inner worlds. Children may not jump into every group, but they often connect more deeply when they do. A teacher once shared, "There was a boy in my class who barely spoke for 2 months, but he noticed everything, who was kind, who felt left out, which child needed help. One day, he gently walked over and comforted a classmate who'd lost a toy. He didn't speak loudly, but his presence was felt deeply." This is the quiet wisdom of shy children, empathy that doesn't perform, but resonates. Instead of asking, "How can I help my child be less shy?" we can ask, "What treasures live inside this stillness? How do I help my child feel safe enough to let those treasures bloom?" Because when we meet a shy child with acceptance, not urgency, we begin to see them fully. And that gentle pause before their words becomes something sacred, not something to fix. The psychology of shyness, what's beneath the surface. When we say a child is shy, we often mean they're quiet, reserved, or slow to warm up. But psychologically, shyness isn't simply a behavior, it's a temperament trait rooted in sensory sensitivity, social caution, and emotional depth. It's the way a child processes the world, softly, carefully, internally. What shyness really is and isn't. Shyness is often confused with introversion, anxiety, or insecurity. But it's unique in its own nature. Shy children may feel emotionally exposed in unfamiliar settings, scan for social safety before engaging, avoid large groups but crave one-on-one connection, speak meaningfully when trust is present, notice micro-expressions, tones, and moods with exquisite detail. They may not jump into the pool, but they're the ones who remember how the water felt last summer. Their memories are felt, not just recalled. Shy children are often emotionally intelligent, tuned in to others' feelings. Reflective thinkers, slow but profound processors. Loyal friends, once bonded, they form deep trust. Empathetic leaders, soft-spoken yet morally grounded. And because they take longer to assess situations, they often make wiser choices. They're less impulsive, more intentional, and beautifully attuned to subtleties others miss. Instead of labeling a child as too shy or worrying about what they can't do in loud settings, we can ask, what are they teaching us about presence, patience, and meaningful connection? Because shy children don't always raise their hands, but they often lift others up quietly. If we want shy children to thrive, we must build the kind of spaces where they feel safe enough to unfold, rather than pushed to perform. In the next part, we'll explore exactly how to do that, creating environments where shyness is welcomed as a strength and quiet children feel truly seen. Creating safe spaces for shy children to thrive. Shy children don't need to be fixed. They need to feel safe enough to unfold, in their own way, at their own pace. When adults accept shyness as a natural rhythm instead of a limitation, shy children begin to trust the world around them. They stop bracing against judgment and start blooming into themselves. What safe looks like. A safe space for a shy child isn't just physical, it's emotional. No forced interactions. Instead of saying, "Go play," try, "Would you like to sit beside me and watch for a bit?" Gentle choices, not pressure. Let them choose how to engage socially, writing, listening, drawing, or quietly joining in. Celebrate the small steps, a wave, a whisper, a shared toy. These are victories. Name them with love. "You waved at Sarah today. That was so brave." Slow consistency. Predictable routines and familiar faces build trust. Shy children bloom where surprise is softened and care is constant. Honor expression beyond words. Some shy children express emotions through movement, art, or gestures. These are just as valuable as spoken sentences. Confidence for a shy child isn't loud, it's felt. A parent shared, "We used to worry when our daughter didn't speak at school, but then her teacher showed us a journal she'd been keeping, full of poems and notes for her classmates. She was speaking the whole time, just not with her voice." Sometimes the quietest children carry the richest inner worlds, and all it takes is a kind gaze, a warm invitation, and the patience to wait for their magic to arrive. So let's ask gently, not, "How can I make my child more confident?" but, "Baths, can I show my child they already are?" Next, we'll celebrate the beautiful gifts shy children bring to the world. Compassion, insight, and leadership that whispers but never fades. The gifts shy children bring to the world. In a culture that often celebrates the loudest voice or fastest answer, shy children might be overlooked, but never underestimated. Because within their stillness lives something extraordinary. They are the quiet observers, the ones who notice who needs kindness before anyone else does. They don't demand attention, they offer presence. Their contributions may arrive slowly, but they are meaningful, intentional, and often unforgettable. What shy children carry quietly: empathy. They feel deeply and respond gently. Insight. They listen more than they speak, and therefore understand more. Creativity. Time spent inward often fuels rich imaginations. Integrity. They follow their values rather than social expectations. Thoughtful leadership. They may never grab the spotlight, but they often guide others quietly through trust and example. A shy child may not speak up in the group, but they're the one who stays after to help a friend pack their bag. That's leadership. That's love. Celebrating the whisper, not just the shout. We don't need every child to be loud. We need children who are true. Shyness isn't a wall, it's a window, one that opens slowly, with care, and when it does, it reveals a view of extraordinary depth. Seen in their own way. Not every child speaks loudly, not every child runs into the spotlight, but every child, especially the shy ones, has something beautiful to say. Their words may take time, their steps may be small, but in their silence lives empathy, creativity, and the kind of wisdom that grows slowly, like deep roots beneath soft soil. At Seeds of Tomorrow, we believe that shyness is not a shell to break, but a garden to nurture, because the quietest children are often the ones who understand the world most tenderly. So if your child lingers behind you, if they speak in whispers, if they take time to trust, know this: they are not behind, they are blooming, and you are their sunlight. Thank you for growing with us. Follow along for stories that honor every rhythm, every pause, and every child who listens deeply before they leap. See you in the next video.